Benvenuti a tutti. Welcome, students, to the Italian A-level induction lesson. I hope that this will be informative to you. I'm going to give you a brief outline of the exams and the topics that you will be studying at A-level. If you have any questions, of course, please do get in touch with me. My name is Mrs. Arnold and I know most of you from Year 11 lessons. Ms. Tapanassi and myself are thrilled that you are considering doing Italian next year. So why study Italian? Approximately 63 million people in the world speak Italian as their first language, and an additional 3 million speak Italian as a second language. Italian is around the 20th most spoken language in the world. Having an A-level language qualification can open up many doors. Universities look particularly favourably on students who have studied a language at advanced level because they recognise that it is a really demanding course. It can lead to lots of job opportunities, in particular with companies that have branches abroad, but perhaps also in the UK, and perhaps they might have a lot of international people working for them, trade links with Europe. It can improve your employability, and of course it can also lead in terms of your studies to a degree course in a language or Italian with another subject. And there are of course lots of opportunities for travel around beautiful Italy. In terms of the course content, I spoke about this at the sixth form open evening, but just to recap, there are 4 different themes that you study during your 2 years of A-level Italian. In year 12, you study 2 of them, and 2 remaining ones are studied in year 13. The first theme is the changes of society, changes in Italian society, the evolution of the Italian family, changes towards attitudes of marriage, couples, family, mummy boys, education, the school system, problems that students face, and the brain drain, which is all about Italian graduates, highly qualified students, graduates, who then decide once they've got their qualifications to go abroad to find work. And then the world of work, the equality of the sexes, unemployment, family businesses, and new ways of working. Theme 2 is all about political and artistic culture in Italy, music, and I know that you've been studying music in Italy with Ms. Tapinassi, changes and developments, the impact on popular culture, media, freedom of expression, the online and printed press, the impact on society and politics. And then Il Patrimonio Culturale, all about the heritage, cultural heritage, festivals, customs, traditions, ways of doing things. Theme 3 is Italy, a society in evolution, an evolving society, the positive impact of immigration on Italy, the contribution that immigrants make and migrants make to Italian economy and culture, problems of migration in Italy, marginalisation and alienation, integration, the impact of emigration. And then Divario Nord-Sud is the gap between the north and the south, the economic gap, differences socially and culturally, and also about movement between north and south, and the role of Italian industries, and of course criminality as well, crime. And the final theme that you study in year 13 is a historical theme from fascism to nowadays. So it's looking at Italy from Second World War through to current day. The ascent, the rise to power of Mussolini, the birth of the fascist party, fascism during the Second World War, what Mussolini's dictatorship was like to live under, And then From Dictatorship to Democracy, The Fall of Mussolini, Liberation and the Six Nations. In terms of the exam consists of 3 different parts. The first part is the listening, reading and translation, and that is from Italian into English. Paper 2 is a written paper with 2 essays on a book and a theme, and also a translation from English into Italian. And paper 3 is your speaking exam. Your paper 1, your listening, reading and translation, the listening part is done individually. So each of you will sit at a computer and listen to the tracks. You have control over the tracks and you can listen to them as many times as you want within the specified time. The reading comprehension, very similar to the format that you will have been preparing for your GCSE, and then the translation from Italian into English. Paper 2 is a written response to a film and a book that you will have studied during your 2 years, and then a translation from English into Italian. And then the last paper is, of course, your speaking paper, and it's between 21 and 23 minutes. You have 5 minutes of preparation time, and then you have a discussion on one of the themes. The second part of this exam is an independent research presentation, which you will have been working on predominantly during your year 13, and you can choose any aspect of Italian society, culture, history, literature, popular culture that interests you, but it has to be related to Italy and Italian speakers. In the past, students have chosen a myriad of different topics. We had a student who was studying Italian literature alongside her Italian. She was really into reading and literature, and she studied a literary movement in Italy. We had somebody who was doing art A-level photography and Italian, and she chose an Italian designer to study. We had someone who was really into sport who looked at the role of football in popular culture in Italy. We had someone who was fascinated by the mafia who did her research project on the mafia. There's so many different things that you could look at. And so one of the things we encourage you to do in year 12 is to really think about what interests you about Italy, Italian culture, society, because you need to do a really wide level of research around that topic. And then you have a discussion on your independent research project. In terms of teaching, you will be in a small supportive class. You will have 6 lessons per week. And one of those will be in a computer room where you're doing listening practice. We'll do lots of speaking practice as well. As far as possible, we conduct the lessons in Italian. And you will have independent learning tasks to do alongside your homework in order to give you confidence and improve your reading and your listening skills. And also, of course, your research skills for your independent research project. Summer work will be placed on the VLE over the next 2 weeks. Please complete the tasks set on the VLE. They will help to prepare you for year 12 of Italian. Learn the vocabulary in the summer work area. We suggest you learn 10 new words a day. Please do use the apps that you find helpful, for example, Duolingo or Quizlet. And although you haven't had to use your GCSE speaking questions, please do learn them because they will really help next year. We recommend that you buy the Italian A-level vocab book, parola per parola, word for word. That covers all of the topic areas of year 12 and 13. And then a big part of A-level, which will be a bit of a jump from your GCSE, is having a good understanding and knowledge of grammar in Italian. So we suggest that you use your grammar notes from GCSE, revise the key tenses. We suggest that you purchase a grammar book. There are lots of ones on the market. The Collins ones are particularly good. Please buy one that includes practice questions and answers at the back. So we suggest that you take, for example, one day, take the present tense, make some notes on how you form the present tense, go through the questions in the book and then mark them from the back. Also, another big part, a big jump from GCSE will be you accessing the news in Italian. So please start reading, looking at the newspapers online. Even if you just begin with looking at the headlines and trying to work out the gist of the article. Choose an article, print it off, highlight, look up at least 10 keywords from the article, and then write a few lines summarising it either in English or Italian. Here is a list of some websites which you might find helpful. You may well have found others which you like to look at. Watch any Italian films, for example on Netflix, and listen to Italian songs. It's great that you've been studying music with Ms. Tapinassi. Try and listen as much as you can to Italian being spoken, being sung. If you've got any questions, please do email me, aarnold@bwsgirls.org. I know that you're still having some sessions with Ms. Tapinassi, so you can speak to her as well. We are delighted that you're going to be joining us next September, or this coming September, I should say, to study Italian, and we hope that you really enjoy it, and we hope that you make the most of this time and over the summer to really prepare as well as possible. Grazie, arrivederci.